Vicky, welcome back to Rocked Up Frocks. In this series I take vintage and pre-loved clothing and give it a makeover. And today I'm going to be making over this pair of jeans that was given to me by a friend. They belong to her husband and they've completely worn through all over. But I love the colour, I love the worn patches and the waist fits me. So my plan for this pair of jeans is to cut them off just below the zip and then patch together the worn pieces to turn it into a skirt. And then I'm going to put some fabric under the worn patches as well so you can see it through. And then once it's back together as a skirt, I'm going to decide if I want to add any patches or studs or painting on the outside as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut the jeans off to just below where the zip finishes. So as long as I can below that. I'm just going to make sure the pockets are out the way because I don't want to cut through them because I want to keep the pockets. And then I think I'm going to fold them in half to make sure both sides are equal. Just match up my side seam. I'm not worried if this isn't straight because I want it to look really patched together, not particularly precise and perfect. Oh, look at that bit, it's great. So this will now form the top of our skirt and we're going to start adding things back below this. Next I'm going to cut each of the legs open along this seam because I want to keep this nice top stitching from the inside seam as a decorative feature. Now I've got the two legs open, I want to get this part to sit flat. So what I'm going to do is cut just outside of this seam and then overlap it and top stitch it, and then I can fray this because I want lots of nice frayed edges on here. Where I've cut it off just below the zip, it is just curving out a little bit. I'm just going to overlap that so it sits flat as well. So now I'm going to top stitch this one and those two legs that we've overlapped. I've just tried the top of the skirt on and I've worked out I need to lengthen it by 8 inches. So I'm going to start making sort of panels of fabric for the front and the back. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut off the top of this leg now it's stitched to be straight across. And then I'm going to cut it down. I'm actually going to cut it to about 10 inches because I want enough to fray top and bottom, and I'm going to overlap it, just joining it onto the top part of the skirt. So I'm going to cut it to 11 just to make sure I've got lots to play with. And then I'm going to overlap a piece from the bottom of the leg onto the side to make sure we've got enough width. And again, I want it to fray, so I'm going to pin it on and then just stitch down there so this part can fray nicely. I think I'm actually going to turn that around so that's part of the hem. And then I'm going to top stitch this. I'm not doing anything neatly because I want it to look really rough and frayed. So once that's all top stitched, that's going to be either the front or the back of the skirt. So that's one leg. Now I'm just going to do the other one the same. Next I've decided I'm going to add silver sequin fabric underneath all the rips. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of fabric that's bigger than the hole we've got at the minute and I put it on the back, and then I've pinned it in place from the front. And then what I'm planning to do is to stitch around it, but I want it to look quite random. I want the stitching to be a feature. So I'm going to put it under the machine and I'm going to stitch forwards and backwards all the way around this frayed part to hold the sequins in place, and then I'll trim it off at the back, and I'm going to cut a bunch of these threads out so you can see more of the sequins. I've not done this before, I'm making this up as I go along, so hopefully it'll look as good as it does in my head. This is how our jeans are looking with all this stitched in place. I love how this stitching looks on the outside. I've tried to be as random as possible. So the next thing I want to do is take out a lot of these threads so we can see the sequins because they're quite old and matted here. In fact, I might even take them all off. Oh yeah, that looks awesome. Alright, yeah, I'm going to take all these threads off. Cool, so that's how that looks. I'm going to turn it over now and I'm just going to trim the excess excess sequins off, and then to stop it rubbing, I put a patch of denim and wander under it on. And press that into place. This is how it looks now. I've used the Bonder Web or Wander Under to press the patch onto the inside so it's firmly stuck down, and that's how it looks on the outside. So now I'm going to go ahead and use exactly the same process to fill in all the other gaps. All of the worn bits have now been patched with the sequins from the inside and stitched through. There was one bit here that was worn, but I didn't want to put sequins in it, so I just ironed on a patch of denim on the back to stop it fraying further and to stop skin showing through when I'm wearing it. So now it's time to attach the skirt pieces onto the top part here. So all I'm going to do is pin them on the outside and stitch along, because I want it to look really rough and to fray along the gap here as well. So I'm going to use this piece as my back, and I'm going to line it up like that and just pin along here. Then I'll do the same at the front, and then I'm going to try it on and pin the side seams and overlap them while it's on me so I can get the fit absolutely right. I'm going to try it on and pin the side seams and check that I'm happy with everything, and then I'm going to top stitch along here, overlap the side seams and top stitch down there as well, and then the last job will just be to fray all the edges up and make it look nice and rough. So here's our finished skirt all sewn together, looking lovely in patchwork with the sparkles coming through. The front and the back. On the back I ended up cutting and overlapping here just to make the skirt a little bit tighter. And the last thing I'm going to do is just add this little star patch to the back pocket. It's just an iron-on patch, just to add that little bit more sparkle at the top, and then we're done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you feel inspired to make over something of your own after watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please click the little bell so that you get notifications when I upload new videos. And come and join us over at my Facebook group if you haven't already. We talk about upcycling and sewing and sustainable fashion, cruelty-free makeup and beauty, and all sorts of other things. I'll put the link in the description. And I'll be back soon with more videos. Bye!